Hello, everybody, and welcome to the tournament recap for Trinidad 2024. This is the fourth stop on the Colorado Kayak Bassmasters tour, and it's at one of my favorite lakes, Trinidad Lake. Just to preface this video with a few things, we had some camera issues early, so I didn't get any of my morning footage back, unfortunately. And on top of that, the audio on this camera is pretty bad, so I'm going to be doing mostly voiceover for this video, except for a few clips. I'm hooked up here, as you can see. This footage starts around 11. I had two fish in the boat at this point, one dank and one pretty nice one. So this is the run that propelled me from two fish all the way up into third place for this tournament. Hooked up with a nice keeper here. That one went around 16.75. Caught that one on a Ned rig fishing this main lake flat out here. This flat comes off a large point and is actually really close to the boat ramp. I hadn't planned to fish here at all, actually. During my practice, I had noticed that some fish were going to pull up on this later in the day, but I had other areas that I wanted to hit. All of those during the tournament either had people on them or weren't setting up the way that I had hoped. So I came back to this flat late in the afternoon and started seeing what I wanted to know that those fish were moving up, and I was able to get on a little run. Hooked up with another keeper here. This fish ended up also going right around 16.5. Pretty good smallmouth for this lake. Nothing huge, but not bad. This fish came off a little stick up that had some fry on it, and that's actually what I ended up targeting for most of the rest of my tournament day. $16.75. Throughout this video, you'll primarily see me using two setups, both of them spinning combos. One of them is a Jackal Revoltage 6.5 light rod, and on that I have a Dio Alluvius. That is the setup I was throwing the Ned rig on. And then my other setup that I was using is a Shimano Poison Glorious with a Vanford. Both of these setups, I'm running the All Might braid from Sunline. It's a super thin sinking braid, and this was the first tournament I'd used it in, and I couldn't be more happy with the performance. I didn't break off any fish, even the few that I had wrapped up in those stick-ups. I just waited them out, and they were able to come out. And I'm really impressed with this braid so far, and I think it's going to be something that I'm going to add to most of my spinning reels going forward. This was another keeper that I caught right here. Same main lake flat that I just did laps on this whole afternoon. And these fish were moving up. They were running around all over this flat, and they were super aggressive. The strategy was basically just run into them. And if I did, I knew that I could get them to bite. And since it was pretty open water, as long as I could keep them away from those stick-ups, it ended up being pretty easy to land these fish. Here's the release on that fish. I think he ended up being my smallest for the day, but still a great little smallie.
I'm coming for you, dude.
No, you are. You better stop, man.
My smallest is 16 now.
Oh my god. I think you might have me, dude.
Dude, I was working this fish for literally hours. Since noon I've been working on this fish. And she finally eats. What a great freaking turn of events.
That was me and Chen Char from CX Angling just chirping a little bit. We always seem to battle it out when we come to Trinidad. So he is always a competitor out here and just a fantastic angler. Should go check out his channel for sure. What I'm about to show you here is what I was fishing all day. And that little stick up right there with fry on it is what I was targeting throughout the course of this tournament day. I noticed in practice that there were fish all around these stick ups, and while they weren't glued to them, they were within about a 10 to 15 foot radius. My strategy was to cruise around this flat looking for those stick ups and then casting in the general area and just waiting. And I knew that a fish would show up and pick up that bait. I couldn't quite tell if they were fry guarding or fry eating, but it didn't really matter because they were eating the bait that I was throwing. The person who won the tournament, Paul Roth, was also doing this strategy in a different area, and so it definitely seemed like it had the potential to be a winning bite. He found much larger fish than I did and had a great day, so congrats to Paul for taking the win on this tournament. Coming up on the left of my kayak here, you'll be able to see another one of those stick ups. These were in anywhere from 2 to 5 feet of water. You can see I'm giving that sucker a good look there. I had literally just been targeting these all day and seeing if I could see a fish kind of deep under that stick up. These smallmouth blend in so well with the bottom, a lot of times it's hard to see them at first glance. So I was really trying to get a good look at these stick ups before I moved on from one. A huge part of being able to fish this tournament the way I did is the way that my kayak's set up. The PWR 129 with the Minn Kota Tarova on the front is just such an awesome combo for sight fishing. The stability of the PWR combined with my ability to steer that Tarova super efficiently while standing gives me the awesome ability to sight fish completely hands-free and just make micro adjustments with the remote when I need to. As my bite began to die down on the main part of the flat, I started wrapping up towards this point. There's a good section where that point breaks to the flat, and so I started working those areas a little bit more. I figured that as the day got hotter, these fish might have started to pull a little bit deeper instead of being as shallow as they had when they started first pulling up. Ended up pulling a few fish off of this break. This one here actually did end up giving me an upgrade, which was much needed considering how tight this tournament was.
$16.
As I continued to make my way up this break, I ran into a school of a bunch of dinks and ended up catching 3 or 4 little guys, all in that like 12 to 14 range. None of them helped, but it's always fun to catch fish during a tournament day, not just the ones that you need to win. As we got later into the day here, the bite really started to die off, and I didn't quite have enough time to go run another area. I had seen a big one following one of my fish earlier, so I kept kind of fishing around that area hoping to pick him off, but could never find him. Overall, though, extremely happy with the way this tournament panned out. Third place is great AOI points and another piece of hardware for this year. I'd really like to thank Scheels for adding me to their pro staff this year. Being on the Scheels team has just been absolutely incredible, and to be honest, it's unlikely that I would be able to fish the way that I've been able to this year without their support. Coming from last year, having destroyed nearly every piece of fishing equipment I owned, to having a top-of-the-line, absolutely dream setup to fish on this year has been incredible. So whether you're looking to get your first fishing kayak or build out a crazy setup like mine, know that the experts at Scheels have got you covered. They have all the best products from all the best brands, and they have the know-how to guide you to the right decision for you. Thank y'all for watching. Please like and subscribe, and leave any comments down below if you have questions. I'll see you at the next tournament.